So you want to make your first $100,000 online, okay? And in this video, I'm going to showcase exactly how I did it over the past, 6 months of running my business. It's a rather new business, but I did it pretty fast. And obviously, if you want to do that, just follow exactly what I'm going to share in this video, okay? So why should you listen to me? Why should you even watch this video? Why should you invest your precious time into watching this video? So currently, I have a social media marketing agency doing around $300,000 a year, close to $30,000 a month. So if you want to get to there, if you're already above that, obviously you don't have to listen to me. But if you're below 30,000, obviously this can help you. So basically, I'm just going to go over the 8 rules of the jungle, okay? And the jungle is it's essentially, that's what I like to call it, because it's a pretty, it's not a road well trodden is what I called it, okay? So not everyone is doing this. Like, this is a pretty difficult thing to do, especially when you are, rather young and you are out there. You have all these options of university, all that kind of stuff, maybe doing some waitering on the side, 9 to 5 side hustles, all that kind of thing. Like, if you want to actually get into the jungle, and what Ty Lopez calls it is the jungle, okay? So making your first $100,000. So even Charlie Munger, he said, the first $100,000 is an absolute bitch. He said it himself, okay? And you just have to do everything to get to that first $100,000, okay? That's the most difficult thing you will ever do, okay? Just getting to that first 100,000, and he said after that, you can let your foot off the gas a little bit, okay? Because you have to change like everything. You have to change your, limiting beliefs. You have to change your paradigm. You have to be extremely disciplined. And in this video, I'm going to go over like the 8 rules for the jungle and making your first $100,000, okay? So let's get into it. So the reason it's called the jungle is because it's not a road well trodden, okay? So like in the Bible, it also says, it's the narrow path is like the difficult road, okay? So the jungle is filled with alligators, poisonous plants, and spiders, all looking to take you down, okay? So that's why I call it the jungle, because there's all these, insects and all these animals and all this kind of stuff. It's not really animals, like other people, basically. They all want the same goal. Like, everyone wants the same goal, okay? So it's a competition, and everyone's looking to, drag you down. And I'm going to go over like all these rules right now, so you are more prepared for when you actually get into the jungle, okay? So the first rule of the jungle, it's not for everyone, okay? So this is very important before you even get started. Like, it's not for everyone. This is really important. And it's also fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing anything else. It's like, some people just have no choice. Like, I have no choice. Like, this is something that I'm just like, I have to do this. I can't explain it. It's just like, I can't settle for anything else, okay? And the thing with entrepreneurship, I'm just cleaning my screen. But the thing with entrepreneurship is like, there's no cap. There's no limit to what you can achieve, okay? So that's what I don't want to be capped by like a work or like a 9 to 5. I don't want that. I just want unlimited upside, although with that, you're going to get risk. So that's the thing. You need to assess your risk tolerance. So that's why I say it's not for everyone. You should know yourself. One of the best advice ever is know thyself. Take personality quizzes, do that kind of thing to know your risk tolerance, know much are you willing to risk, because at the end of the day, it is a risk, okay? But I would take that risk and, have a cool story when I die, and not just play it safe, okay? So the reason it's called the jungle is because, wow, did I just do the same thing twice? Anyway, you're just going to see that. I don't mind. So you're either all in or nothing. So this is the second rule. That's the first rule, okay? I said it twice. This is on purpose. I did it twice because it's that important, okay? So number 2, you're either all in or nothing, okay? Very important. I hate plan B. People perform better in sports and everything else in business, any endeavor, if they don't have a plan B. I've never ever had a plan B, and that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He said that, okay? So like, the thing with me as well, like, I completely cut out university back in 2022, literally like a couple of years ago. It was June of 2022, okay? And that's when I basically dropped out. So I gave myself no other option. Like, please understand this. There's no other option. Like, if you just understand that, like, there's nothing else. Like, it's either this or dead broke on the street. That was my comparison. It sounds kind of crazy, but like, that's, if you give yourself, if that's your option, if that's your, path, like, how on earth are you going to lose? Like, there's no way. There's literally no way to lose if that's your option. All in or nothing, okay? And then also, it's obviously a big risk because you have nothing to fall back on. Okay. So, but at the end of the day, like I am my own, security. I don't need anything else. Like I'm my own security. I want to be in charge of everything. So I'm fine with that. Okay. So even if I end up on the road, broke, I really don't mind because I have myself. Okay. So one thing I will tell you, once you've burned the bridges, there's no going back. Like it's taking the red pill in like the Matrix. Once you see the truth, once you see the freedom, once you get a taste of it, you can't go back. So I'd rather literally die. Okay. So if that's your two options, who do you think is going to win? Okay. So I made a reel today as well, like a TikTok video, or like a real video, whatever, short. And I said, if you're going to lose if you are 1 foot in and 1 foot out, like 1 foot in university, 1 foot in, any side job, and other foot in like online business, entrepreneurship. Like this is all I do. You are going to lose. Okay. If that's not if that's not what you're doing, if you're 1 foot in here, dabbling into this, like all this, dispersed attention, shiny object, like if you just focus on one thing and that's the only option, you can't lose. Okay. So number 3, don't choose the wrong boat. Okay, so the boat is basically the business model. Okay, it doesn't matter how hard you row; it matters in which boat you get in. That's Warren Buffett who said that. Okay, so like worth, I don't know how much is now, 200 billion. And if he has more money than you, so let's just listen to that. It's not me who said this; it's like a quote from him. Doesn't matter how hard you row, doesn't matter how hard you work. It matters in which boat you get in, which business model you pursue. Like. I work pretty hard. Like I work from, 7 a.m. till now. It's like 12 p.m., like 5 hours straight. But, I'm not going to, that's not hard work. Okay. Like compared to, people working in India, they work much harder than me. Okay. So in comparison, like I work semi hard, but like in comparison to other people doing like labor work, I don't work hard at all. Okay. So it doesn't matter how hard you work. That's just 25% of the equation of success is hard work. A quarter of your success is hard work. Okay. And, the other 3 I mentioned in the previous video is strategy, just, being, that's basically choosing the right boat, the right business model. That's strategy. And seeing the future, predicting what's going to do best, like the supply, demand, macroeconomics. Okay, that's strategy. And then it's what's the other 2? It's organized. Okay, just being organized. I literally planned my day yesterday in and out. I do it every single day. Okay, I just have this book which I like shipped a page off. It's all my sales calls I do in there, and this is all the notes. What I'm going to do. I already finished most of it. I just have to record some few videos and I have calls like at the evening. That's all. Okay. So, and the last one is perfectionism. Just double checking your work. Okay. That's the one you called me red-handed. Yeah. So, I just did it twice, but anyway, I did that on purpose. Okay. So just don't choose the wrong boat. If you're starting out, I want you to test as many business models as possible. I did Forex trading. I did crypto. I flipped Instagram pages. I did e-com, like drop shipping. All of them failed, but I learned that those are not the business models I want to pursue, and I ended up with social media marketing. Okay, that's the one I'm currently doing. My business is currently doing like $300,000 in an annual run rate. Okay, so pick the one where you excel at most and with the most leverage. Leverage is basically where you put the minimum input for the most output. Okay. So that's number 3, the third rule of the jungle. Don't choose the wrong boat. Number 2, you're either all in or nothing. Okay. That's okay. You don't have to follow that, but that's what got me here pretty quickly. Okay. And then this one, it's not for everyone. Okay. So number 4, volume negates luck. Okay. So volume is extremely important. Like most people deeply underestimate how much volume it takes to become successful. At the start, all you have is volume. Okay. It's all you. Like you are all you have. It's like you have your time and your energy because you don't have leverage yet. Okay. Get your offer in front of more people and more people will buy. It's that simple, but it's pretty difficult. Okay. To actually send emails and send DMs. That's all you can do literally. Okay. And content, you can film that as well, but that takes a lot of time. Okay. And consistency. So all you have is volume at the start because you don't have leverage. You don't have people to work for you because you don't have capital. You don't have media because that takes time to actually grow, like a YouTube channel. And you don't have software, or you can use software, but it's not like that's going to help you at the start to increase the volume. It's just going to help you actually do it. Okay. So that's the 4th one is volume negates luck. Just do more volume. Most people deeply underestimate how much volume it takes to become successful, okay? So you have to do more. If you're not getting the results you want at the pace you want, I also am looking to increase, like, more volume will never hurt, okay? Just keep that in mind. So, number 5, you won't know what you're doing, okay? Like, no one really knows what they're doing, okay? They're just figuring it out along the way. They're just putting one step forward in front of the other. That's all they're doing. And just like that, what's the word? They don't know what the future is. So like most people quit. That's that uncertainty, okay? Most people experience that and then they quit. But like, that's the entire thing. Like, you don't know what you're doing and you're just putting one foot in, and then when something happens, you're like, whoa, okay, I didn't even expect this. Okay. So that's what it is. Okay. Just, you won't know what you're doing. That's normal. If you're doing something new, how on earth are you going to know what you're doing? If you don't know what you're doing, that's actually a good sign, because you're doing something new. If you knew what you were doing at all times, it would be the same thing. It would be comfortable. And as you know, if you're comfortable, you're not in the right direction. Okay. So if you know what you're doing, you're actually on the wrong path. You should not know what you're doing, because then you're doing something new. You probably think these guys online, all these guys probably, all these gurus making all this money, they think they have it all figured out. But I'm going to be the one to tell you, like, no one has it figured out, okay? Like, no one even knows why you're on this planet. Like, no one knows what they're doing, okay? So you are mistaken, my friend. Like, no one has it figured out. To be real with you, no one knows what they're doing, okay? Hopefully I said that enough times. But they're just figuring it out along the way, okay? You're no different. So if you feel uncertainty, that's normal, okay? It's actually good. So that's number 5. You won't know what you're doing, okay? That's normal. Number 6 is hard work, okay? So this is for making your first $100,000 online, okay? And that's when hard work is like 80% of the equation, okay? So now when you're starting out, hard work is all you have. Time and energy, that's all you have, okay? You don't have people to work with you. You don't have capital to, invest in other people. You don't have any people helping you out, anything like that. You don't have nothing. You just have you. That's all you have. It's all you, okay? Raw horsepower, okay? Then once you've signed a couple of clients, you can outsource your lead sourcing and outreach. That's what I would do from the start, and also your service delivery. Okay, so all I do at the moment is sales calls, okay? I literally closed the client today. So through sales, all right? So once you've signed a couple of clients, you can outsource your lead sourcing and outreach. So that's the thing you should do. Like, let's say you are making like $5,600 or no, like $5,000 to $8,000 a month, then you can outsource your lead sourcing, okay? And I wouldn't do the service delivery yet. I would get like to $8,000 a month, okay? That's when I would start, outsourcing my service delivery, as well as, lead sourcing. You can do a bit earlier, okay? That's essentially people getting the emails for you. Like, I had a pretty lucky hire at the beginning. Like, she's still working with me at this time. Like, she's very hardworking, very good at what she does. And, I just had a very lucky hire at the start, doing the lead sourcing and as well as doing the outreach for me. Okay. So emails, that kind of thing. Okay. So you need to deserve it. You can't just outsource pain. Okay. You can't outsource pain at the start. You have to, you have to go through that pain at the start. It is extremely painful. Like I said, I worked like 18-hour days for 3 months. Okay, that's tough. Okay, but at the start, it's all you. Okay, and after a while, like, discipline is just it's not forever. Discipline, and obviously you still need to be disciplined with your work and all this kind of stuff. Doing the work, but like the raw horsepower and that tedious work is not forever. Okay, so number 6 is hard work. We have 2 left, okay? Two lessons left. So a nation is born stoic, okay? You're going to come across a lot of nasty people on your journey in the jungle. Like, I actually send obviously I send emails every single day to potential prospects. That's how I book my sales calls. Then I hop on a Zoom call just like this, and I'm like, I can help you, bro. And then they give me money, okay? Obviously it's not that easy, but like, I have a sales script I follow. I've been doing like probably 200 sales calls already. Okay, not 200, that's a bit a lot. Like close to that, like probably 180, close to there. I should actually check how many sales calls I've done. I can show you right now. Look at this. Let's do this. Look at this. This is all the sales calls I've done. What's the easy way to show this? Like, these are all I can do that. Like, these are all the sales calls I've done. These are like hundreds of sales calls. As you can see, like, that's a pretty thick book. Okay, and these are all sales calls I've done. So, I don't know, a few hundred. And that's how you get good. It's through volume, okay? But basically, you will get a lot of people telling you, to fuck off, labeling you a scammer. There was actually a guy I sent an email to. That's sort of the story I wanted to get at. So I sent an email, and then I had another look, and his channel was just not, it was not the people I wanted to work with, okay? Obviously, I don't have as much control of who my team sends the emails to. Obviously, I have a client avatar. I know exactly who we send emails to, but it's not going to be perfect. That's normal. That's totally fine. And then some people, like this one, wasn't like the perfect fit. And then I was like, on the email, I was like, sorry, I just had another look. It's not going to be the perfect fit as of now, but I enjoy the rest of your day, whatever. Something along those lines. And then he was like, completely pissed off. He was buttered because like I reached out to him, and it's not it's not the most ethical thing ever, but like obviously, as I said, I didn't have much control of who I sent the email to, and I don't want to waste my time on the Zoom call when it's not someone I want to work with, right? So on the email, it's actually also fine. Like I said, it's not going to work. I don't want to waste you or my time. But yeah, just enjoy the show today. You don't have to, check this email again. And then he got buttered because like I reached out to him and then basically rejected him. So like that's kind of crazy. Like imagine you were talking to a girl and you ask her out, and then, and you're like, no, sorry, it's not going to work out. Or something along those lines. And that's basically what happened, okay? And then he posted on YouTube. He was like, watch out for the scammer and all this kind of stuff. So that's just the name of the game, okay? If you can't develop a thick skin, don't enter the jungle, okay? As I say, it's not for everyone, okay? But if you have no other choice, like myself, you just have to do it, okay? There's no other way. There's literally no other way. So if that's your mindset, this pen is irritating me. If that's your mindset, you will make it, okay? So not to spoil the ending, but you will make it out alive. You just don't stop. Like it doesn't take that long. Like you can do it in 6 to 12 months. You can make the salary of a doctor who has to study 10 years. Are you kidding me? It's like compressed stress and effort with this agency. It's very compressed and it's like very stressful for a short period of time. And then boom, as Charlie Munger said, the first $100,000 is a bitch, but after that, you can let your foot off the gas a little bit because you've put in so much time and effort. Obviously, I'm still working hard. I just love working, okay? But after that, you don't have to. If you want to make $8,000 a month, which you can do pretty quickly, and just live in Bali and Thailand, and that's obviously a lot of money, or in Cape Town, as I'm living in right now, it's pretty cheap, okay? So there are only two things that can happen if you just don't stop. You make your first $100,000, or you give up before you make your first $100,000. And it's not me who said this, but obviously I just learned from these people. Like Alex Ramosi literally said there's only two things that can happen. You run a successful agency, or you give up before you run a successful agency. So if you just don't stop, that's like, keep going is like the best advice ever, but it's so cliche and so cringe, but that's the best advice ever. If you just don't quit, you won't lose. Okay, so you just have to test a lot, okay? You need to have delusional self-belief that you'll make it, okay? Delusional self-confidence, because at the start, you don't have any evidence, you don't have social proof, and all you have is confidence, okay? So, confidence is key at the start, okay? But after that, once you have some social proof going and confidence, game changer. It's inevitable, okay? So, just going to go over the 8 rules again. It's not for everyone, okay? Just before you get started, I've obviously went through all these rules. If this is for you and you want to do it, and you despise having authority and people telling you what to do, and you want your own, freedom, all that kind of stuff, do whatever you want, still working on what you want, then that's just for you, okay? But if you are very security driven and you want that security of a job, this is not for you because this is very risky, okay? I think like 1 out of 10 businesses actually succeed, okay? So, yeah. The reason it's called the jungle is because it's not a road well trodden, okay? It's not but there's a lot of flowers that grow here, okay? But the wide path, it's obviously more safe, but it's a pretty boring path. And the narrow path is obviously more difficult, but it's pretty beautiful, okay? So you're either all in or nothing, okay? Burn the bridges, okay? I don't care. There's no plan B. Plan B, what on earth? Why do you have a plan B, okay? Because you think you won't make it. That's why I have a plan B. So don't choose the wrong boat. There's people working a lot harder than me while I make 100 times more. So it's not about how hard you row, it's which boat you get in. Choose the right business model, okay? There's a lot of videos on that. Volume negates luck, okay? Just the more you do, the more you get out, okay? Rich Piana literally said, the more you get in, the more you put in, the more you get out, okay? It's just the name of the game. you know what you're doing. You won't know what you're doing, okay? That's normal. Because if you knew what you were doing, it would be comfortable and it won't be something new, okay? So, very important. Hard work. At the start, it's all hard work, okay? But as you get past that, it's more about making good decisions, hiring the right people. It's not what you know, it's who you know, okay? It's not what to do, it's who should do it at that stage after $100,000, okay? Because you just have so much finite time and energy. And number 7, develop thick skin, okay? It's born stoic. Nation is born stoic and dies Epicurean, okay? So you have to be extremely stoic, okay? That's very important. If you don't have thick skin, don't enter the jungle, okay? Absolutely unfazed with anything that happens, okay? I can lose everything, I don't mind. I'm totally fine. So, number 8, if you don't give up, you'll make it, literally, okay? If you don't quit, you'll make it. So that's basically today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got some value from this video. And let me know what you think of the setup. It's kind of cool. But this is obviously Thursday's video. And then I'm going to give another one or, do another one. Let me know what you think of these styles of videos, like the Miro board, or if you just like more like the raw, uncut, like these type of videos. So let me know down below. If not, that's also totally fine. I'll just go off like the views and the likes and that kind of thing. But hopefully you enjoyed this, and then I'll see you on Tuesday's video. Bye-bye.